Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about an important new case that came down. It's a logging case, is the basis of it, and a trespassing case that came down earlier this year. But it's really an independent contractor case, and I want to talk about that a lot because we all hire independent contractors to do work on our properties, to make repairs, to do construction, etc. And this case really talks about that. So what happened was there were two adjoining property owners that had some property down in Morgan County, and it was forest land and timber ground, and some timber was being cut by one property owner but not the other. And the parties were trying to determine where the line was between their properties. They knew where it was, and so the property that was doing the logging was starting to encroach over into the non-timber cutting property, right? And so this guy says, wait a minute, you're getting too close to my land, don't come over here. And he kept going out and meeting with the owner, meeting with the logging company, marking the area. He went, really above and beyond where I think he would need to go, but he did all that so that his land wouldn't be affected by the timber that was being cut. Anyway, you can guess what happens next. Bump, bump, bump. Scooting over. The loggers get into this other property owner's land and they start cutting down his trees as well. And they end up causing $80,000 of timber damage, ultimately, is what the court found. So this became a independent contractor case because the party that incorrectly trespassed, the trespasser who went over and cut this land, said, wait a minute, I'm not liable. It was my independent contractor, the logging company. You really need to sue them. And the Court of Appeals said, no, you don't get to do that, right? Because the duty to cut the land and make certain that nothing inappropriate was cut down and that there was no appropriation of other ground or other trees is set in a statute. And that's Indiana Code 253651 4B. And, you cannot get into somebody else's land and say, oh, that's the logger's fault, that's not mine. That's your duty as a landowner to know where your property is, know where your trees are, and make certain that your logging company that you hire doesn't get out of bounds. This may not apply in a lot of other independent contractor scenarios, but it's something to be considerate of, and whether there might be a statute that's going to come into play where otherwise you think, I've hired an independent contractor, I've got no liability, I don't have to worry about it. So a couple different things on this case. Number one, logging and trespassing is big business. It's a lot of money. There's a lot of damages that can be assessed in a case like that. Number two, look at your independent contractor status and make sure that your contractors aren't going outside the scope of their authority and that you aren't deceiving yourself that maybe there's more liability on you even though you've got an independent contractor. So take a look at the case if you'd like to. I'll give you the site at the bottom here and you can go from there. Have a great day.